Hey guys, I know what you're thinking. Exactly what we needed. Another Indian guy making tutorials on YouTube. Well, this one is going to teach you about the mythic items and tank builds in just under 5 minutes. Starting off, we have Jaksho the Protean. This basically gives you some health, armor, MR and a little bit of haste. And its passive is that every second in combat, you gain bonus armor and MR. At 8 seconds, this gets capped and you get a whole bunch of armor and MR. Also, once it's capped, you drain all of the enemies around you for 3% of your maximum health. Let's see it in action over here with the Momo. You can see he begins sadly headbutting the enemy. His armor and MR begin to go up. At around 6 seconds, he begins to glow purple. And at 8 seconds in combat, shloop, he drains the enemy for his percentage of his max health. I'd recommend building this item on champions such as Cassandre, Malphite, Rammus, Amumu, and Ornn. Champions that scale with armor and MR and like to be in the middle of the enemy during team fights. Next up, we have Heartsteel. This item basically gives you a bunch of health and a little bit of haste and no resist whatsoever. It's a pure HP item. For the passive, it would be best to see it in action, so let's go to that. Basically, whenever you're within this much range of an enemy champion, you begin charging up and attack against them. Here you can see it's charging. After 3 seconds, the attack is ready, and when you basic attack that particular enemy champion, you do a whole bunch of physical damage to them, scaling off of your max health. Further, you also gain stacks on Heartsteel, which grant you permanent maximum health. The number of stacks you see on Heartsteel is equal to the amount of permanent health you've gained. One more thing, you charge up attacks against the enemy champion individually. So you can see over here, I attack one enemy champion and then a second, and both give me Heartsteel stacks. In this manner, you can technically attack 5 enemy champions separately and get a whole bunch of bonus health. I'd recommend building this on champions such as Sion, Set, Cho'Gath and Zac. Champions that scale off of health. Next up, we have Iceborne Gauntlet. So Frostfire Gauntlet has been removed and now we have Iceborne Gauntlet, which basically gives you a bunch of health, some armor and a little bit of haste. It gives you no MR and that's important. It gives you only armor. Its passive is that after using the ability, your next basic attack will deal a bunch of bonus damage just like the Sheen passive, and it will create a slowing zone around the target. As of right now, Iceborne Gauntlet isn't really as strong as the other two mythics and is specifically targeted against heavy enemy AD comps. Since it has no MR, you can't really build it in many other circumstances. I'd recommend building this on champions such as Poppy, Skarner, Udyr and Tahm Kench. Champions that can use the Sheen passive. Finally, last and pretty much least, we have Radiant Virtue. This gives the exact same stats as Jaksho, but its passive is quite a bit different. When you cast your ultimate, you gain some bonus max health temporarily. Furthermore, allies near you gain non-ultimate ability haste and heal for a little bit based on your maximum health. The healing is increased the lower they are. Do not build this on any top lane tanks whatsoever. This is specifically for engaged supports. I'd recommend building it on champions such as support TK and Rakan. Maybe even Braum and Leona. Finally, we need to discuss the changes to Sunfire Aegis and Turbo Chem Tank. Both these items are now legendaries instead of mythics. Sunfire Aegis gives you some HP and armor, while Turbo Chem Tank gives you HP and MR. The passive for Sunfire Aegis is that it does magic damage in an area around you, scaling with your HP. This ramps up the longer you're in combat. While for Turbo Chem Tank, there's only the movement speed active, like the old Righteous Glory. Hey guys, thanks for watching that video. Don't forget to subscribe for part 2 where we discuss synergies and full item builds. In part 2, we also show item builds that allow you to do stuff like this.